G'day, Rockhound here. Mavericks the Forge launched for founders just over a week ago. As someone who's been following Automaton's development of Mavericks Proving Grounds since earlier this year, it was a big moment and something that myself and other founders were thoroughly looking forward to. Now currently the game is under an NDA, so while I can't share footage of the game or give you any details about it, I will fill you in on the public information we have so far. Between my last update and the game's launch, we had a video from Automaton's Managing Director James Thompson and their Community Manager Sam Greenwell, which gave us a good idea of what to expect about the game. They showed us some initial parts of the Isle of Doom, including a forest area and a capital outpost, where capital reputation tokens that you earn through eliminating other players can be banked, contributing towards one of 4 factions that you choose. Now, they made a point of emphasizing that the first week or two of the Forge would be about uncovering bugs and other problems, along with testing the core infrastructure of the game. So more of a focus on testing the tech and not so much about us as founders having polished gameplay at the start. They also said to expect basic content to start with and that the map will be relatively barren. Although on the upside, extra weapons had been added from the start in addition to the initial 3, which were the USP, the AKM and the Ithaca 37 shotgun that were previously announced. They added that they see this phase as all about the community interacting with Automaton, and I can tell you there has been plenty of helpful feedback from founders on a daily basis during the first week or so far. Now, as the Forge progresses, they're going to add content into the game with 2 types of weekly updates, which will occur every Thursday. They are rapid updates and core updates. Rapid updates will be a mix of minor additions like bug fixes, adding individual animations, adding new weapons, and gunplay tweaks. Now, I'm especially hoping that there is a strong emphasis on getting gunplay feeling great early on in the game. I'd far rather play with great gunplay in an unpolished environment than the other way around. Core updates, on the other hand, will add more substantial changes, like bringing in destruction and tracking, fire propagation, groups of animations such as vaulting, and eventually see the social hub known as Capital Island opening up. James Thompson also mentioned that founders will receive some additional exclusive access to the capital when it's brought online. Now, founders will also be recognised from fairly early on in the Forge with in-game cosmetics as well. Now, around the same time as the introduction video that James and Sam provided, the recommended PC specs for the game were also published. The recommended specs for your PC are having a Windows 10 64-bit system running on an Intel Core i7 with 8 gigs of RAM, and a GPU that's either an NVIDIA GTX 1060 with 6 GB or an AMD Radeon RX 580 with 8 GB. You also need DirectX 11 and at least 20 GB of available storage space. Minimum specs to operate the game are the same operating system, an Intel Core i5 CPU, 8 GB of RAM, and with the GPU, NVIDIA GTX 960 with 2 GB or an AMD Radeon R9 280X with 3 GB. Also, the DirectX 11 and storage space of 20 GB remains the same. Now, what am I allowed to say about the game's current state? Well, the devs have published a report on the first week's analytics. In that, they note that there were over 5,000 crashes early on, but an early patch on day 2 saw a reduction in crashes of 66%. Prior to that day 2 patch, founders were experiencing around 45 FPS, but this was lifted to the goal 60 FPS once the patch was in place. In addition, over 500 bugs have been reported by founders, and 10% of those have currently been resolved, with the list growing daily. Weapon use in the game is dominated by the starting weapon, which is the USP, being used more than 50% of the time, followed by the AKM with around 15% use. The devs reported that over 150,000 capital reputation tokens have been deposited in the capital outposts as well. They also released a hotspot map showing where kills occur on the island, with the dark green zone south of the mountain in the middle of the island now being infamously dubbed Murder Forest. Lastly, we now also have a development roadmap on the Mavericks website which shows the upcoming core updates. However, the roadmap is only accessible to founders, so I can't give those details away, but they do sound like we're going to have some interesting updates in the near future. Well, that's all I have for you on Mavericks the Forge at this stage, but I'll be sure to update you as soon as I have new info to hand. If you found this video helpful, please consider rating, subscribing, and turning on notifications so that you get the latest updates. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.